They're going to say it's about tax credits. They're going to say it's about green energy incentives. Those are lies. I have 3 receipts that prove this was a political calculation. This was a vote of no confidence in Donald Trump. Receipt number 1, the risk premium report. 3 weeks ago, a leaked internal risk assessment from a major Japanese banking conglomerate, the bank that finances Toyota's massive projects, started circulating in Tokyo. We've seen parts of this document. It doesn't talk about profit margins. It talks about political volatility. The report explicitly flags the United States as a high-risk jurisdiction for long-term capital. Think about that. The United States, the bedrock of global capitalism, is now considered high risk. Why? Because of the tariff man. The report cites Trump's threat to tear up the USMCA trade deal. It cites his threat to seize foreign assets if companies don't comply with his political demands. It cites the fact that policy in Washington changes every time the president gets angry at a news segment. The bank told Toyota, if you build in Alabama, your factory could be held hostage. They told them, if you build in Canada, you have access to the US market through the trade deal, but you are physically safe from Trump's executive orders. That is the calculation. They are building in Canada to protect themselves from the President of the United States. Receipt number 2, the Huntsville halt. Let's look at the ground level. Local reporters in Alabama have been noticing something strange for the last 10 days. The site prep work, it stopped. The heavy machinery that was supposed to be grading the land, it was loaded back onto trucks last Tuesday. When the local mayor called the White House for help, reports say he couldn't even get a meeting. The Trump administration was too busy fighting a Twitter war with the European Union to notice that their biggest economic win of the year was walking out the back door. We have footage from local news showing an empty field where the groundbreaking was supposed to happen. That empty field is the monument to America First. It's empty because capital is a coward. Money is scared of noise, and Trump is nothing but noise. Receipt number 3, the Carney calendar. While Trump was holding rallies, look at Mark Carney's schedule for the last month. January 12th, a quiet dinner in Tokyo with the CEO of Toyota. January 14th, a video conference with the heads of 3 major Japanese banks. January 20th, the Canadian industry minister flies to Nagoya, Toyota's headquarters, not for a photo op, but for a technical briefing. They were doing the work. While Trump was screaming about how the world is ripping America off, Carney was showing them a map of Ontario. He was showing them the lithium supply chains in northern Quebec. He was showing them the port access. He wasn't selling Canada as a superpower. He was selling Canada as the adult in the room. And here is the kicker. Sources in Ottawa are saying that Carney gave Toyota a specific guarantee, a sovereignty shield. Essentially a promise that if the U.S. tries to slap illegal tariffs on these Canadian-made cars, the Canadian government will cover the difference until the courts strike it down. Carney put the Canadian Treasury on the line to steal this deal. That is aggressive. That is high-stakes poker, and he just raked in the biggest pot of the decade. Look at the stock charts this morning. Toyota stock up 4%. The market loves this move. General Motors and Ford down because they are stuck in the chaos zone and their competitor just found a safe harbor. The market is voting, and the market is saying that Canada is the future of the North American auto industry and the US is a liability. So why is this happening now? Why did Toyota pull the trigger today? Because Trump is losing control of the narrative. For the last year, Trump has operated on a simple theory: fear. He believed that if he made enough threats, if he scared companies enough, they would have no choice but to kneel. He thought he had all the leverage. He thought the U.S. consumer market was so big that no one could afford to leave it. He forgot one thing. You don't need to be in the U.S. to sell to the U.S. Canada is right there. It's across a bridge. It's across a river. Trump tried to build a wall around the American economy, but he locked the companies in with him, and now they feel trapped. Every time Trump announces a new tariff, he thinks he's being strong. But what he's actually doing is raising the cost of doing business in America. Think about it. If you build a car in Alabama and Trump puts a 25% tariff on the steel you need from Japan, your car just got more expensive. But if you build that same car in Windsor, Ontario, Canada has a free trade deal with Japan, no tariffs on steel. And Canada has a free trade deal with Europe. And Canada has a free trade deal with the US. Mark Carney has turned Canada into a duty-free shop for the global economy. And Trump can't figure out how to stop it. He is reacting. You can see it in his behavior. Reports from the West Wing this morning describe absolute fury. Aides are being fired. Phones are being thrown. He's threatening to ban Toyota from selling cars in America, but he can't. If he bans Toyota, he destroys the dealerships in Texas, in Florida, in Ohio. He destroys the mechanics. He raises the price of used cars for you, the voter, by 30% overnight. He is trapped. He can scream, he can tweet, but he cannot stop a private company from deciding that his leadership is too risky. This is the failure of the bully strategy. When you bully your allies, they don't just take it, they organize, they find alternatives. Japan and Canada just formed an alliance of convenience. They looked at each other and said, we need to survive this guy. And Carney, he's playing a completely different game. Carney isn't trying to be the loudest voice in the room. He's trying to be the smartest. While Trump is obsessed with the stock market number for today, Carney is looking at where the supply chains will be in 10 years. Carney knows that the world is moving away from oil and toward electricity. He knows that the batteries need minerals. Canada has the minerals. He knows that manufacturers need clean energy. Quebec and Ontario have hydro and nuclear. He knows that CEOs need sleep. They need to know that the rules won't change tomorrow morning. Carney is selling boring. And right now, boring is worth billions. You have to understand, for a CEO of a global company, Trump is a nightmare. You can't plan, you can't budget, you don't know if he's going to wake up and declare your product illegal. Carney is the antidote to that nightmare. He stands at the podium, adjusts his glasses, and speaks in complete sentences. He talks about frameworks. He talks about predictability. It's not exciting TV, but it is exactly what money wants to hear. And that is why Trump is losing. He thinks this is a reality TV show. He thinks the winner is the one who gets the most ratings. But this is the global economy, and the winner is the one who gets the factories. Today, Canada got the factory, and America got the ratings. Let's go deeper into Carney's strategy here, because this is a masterclass in modern statecraft. Most Canadian prime ministers, when faced with U.S. pressure, they fold. They try to be nice. They try to bake a cake for the president and hope he doesn't hurt them. Carney didn't bake a cake. He built a fortress. He realized that Canada cannot compete with the U.S. on size. He can't compete on military power, but he can compete on competence. He positioned Canada as the Western alternative. The pitch to Toyota wasn't, we are better than America. The pitch was, we are America without the drama. Yep. We speak English. We use the same electrical plugs. We watch the same movies. We drive on the same side of the road, but we don't have a president who threatens to seize your assets. It is a brilliant wedge strategy. And notice how Carney did this. He didn't announce it until the ink was dry. Trump announces deals that don't exist. He holds press conferences for factories that never get built. Carney waited. He let the lawyers finish the paperwork. He let the money hit the bank account. And then he let the world know. This signals to every other CEO, to Apple, to Samsung, to BMW, that Carney is a serious operator. If you leak a deal with Trump, he might blow it up just to be the center of attention. If you do a deal